Okay, well, it's about time for lunch, but we do have time for a few questions. So I'm going to ask Bethany, our host here, to filter some questions and maybe ask me some questions based on what we've talked about over the last 2 hours. And by the way, congratulations for sitting and watching a guy on your computer lecture for 2 hours. You deserve a medal for that. Hopefully you get a lunch and you get some of those calories back that you've lost. But Bethany, any questions that we should answer?
We have a couple questions. Jennifer asks about the workbook. In the workbook, the CTA box has direct and transitional. What are the points to consider for transitional?
Fantastic question. So the direct call to action is, will you buy my product, right? The transitional call to action is, if you won't buy my product, will you give me your email address in exchange for this lead generator? So just think of the transitional call to action as the lead generator, because what we don't want to do is, if somebody's not ready to buy our product or service, we don't want to just let them go. People buy during a window, and you want as many, as you know from your relationship with digital marketer, you want as many email addresses as you can, and you want to email them all the time. When they're ready, they'll buy. But let's not let that customer go. So, you know, for me, it would be, you want to attend one of our workshops? No. Okay, well, would you like to download a PDF called 5 Things Your Website Should Include? Oh, yes, I'll give you my email address. And then I email them a month down the road and said, would you like to attend a workshop now? You know? So here's how it works. The direct call to action is, will you marry me? The transitional call to action is, will you go out with me again? Okay? And so it's, will you marry me? No. Okay, will you go out with me again? Yes. Will you marry me? No. Will you go out with me again? Yes. Will you marry me? No. Will you go out with me again? Yes. Will you marry me? No. Will you go out with me again? Yes. Will you marry me? Okay, I'll marry you. That's how it works. Or at least that's how it works with me. It worked with me and Betsy. So you kind of have to stay in the relationship. And by the way, the whole rest of the day, we're going to talk about how relationships work and why a specific sales funnel endears you to customers and obeys the natural way relationships work in order to help them arrive at the decision to make a purchase from you. But transitional call to action, direct calls to action work that way. You always want both.
Awesome. And next, Julianne asks, Donald, why do you not get organizations to brand script each customer avatar instead of just the product? Each character avatar has very different problems.
It's fantastic for you to do that. Each customer, I mean, it's even advanced beyond what I presented earlier, where you would actually create a brand script for each product and then each demographic who could potentially buy that product. That's like triple level advanced use of brand script messaging. But if you do that, every brand script that you create is going to make you more money. Now, you don't want to get all your marketing where the big one is just the overall brand. If you get the overall brand, you're going to see dramatic increase in revenue. And then you get the divisions, and then you get the products, and beyond that, the avatars are perfect. Perfect. I love how you're thinking.
Excellent. And Jay asks, if we have not helped millions yet and are just beginning, how do we invite their success with us as their guide? We don't have that proof necessarily.
Well, here's one thing that's great about proof of success. You need very, very little of it. In fact, too much of it begins to have the opposite effect. If you share too much of your success, people begin to wonder if you are the hero in the story. So you actually don't want to share too much of it. I talk in the book about what to share. You share some statistics, share an award that you've won, whatever. But let's say that you've only had one customer. It's enough for you to say, you know, my customer, Jay, was dealing with this, and I solved this problem this way. That literally checks the box in their brain. All you're doing is you're giving them a chance to check the box in their brain that says you know what you are doing. And I love the question. It is super easy to do that. You do not need show-stopping success in order to become the guide in their life.
I love that. And Tiger asks, are you split testing multiple story brands?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm obviously going with the one that's gonna go the best. Now, I don't usually split test an entire brand script, but I'll split test, for instance, a philosophical problem. And I'll see which one gets more traction. And I'll go with that one. But I will say this. Anything that comes out of a brand script is going to do better than what you're doing now. Anything.
I love that. So you would actually split test internal, external, and philosophical?
Well, no, but if I choose the philosophical, then I reverse engineer the external and internal.
Right, of course.
Because they have to change.
Of course.
And so does what the customer wants. Philosophical is really that linchpin that kind of holds the whole brand script together.
Love that. All right, 2 more questions. Philip asks, can you please explain the philosophical problem frame when it comes to various businesses? Like some examples might be helpful outside of some of the examples you gave.
Okay, well, well, let me give you an example. I'm going to pitch my book, my new book. It's not even out yet. I wrote a book called Business Made Simple. This book is on Amazon. I turned it in a few months ago, and it comes out January 19th. What the book is 60 daily readings that will help you grow a business. And basically, here's what was happening. I was hiring people out of business school who had paid $50,000 to go to business school, and they did not know how to grow a business. Period. They didn't know how to do it. I mean, it was amazing to me. That would be like saying, I went to meet my friend who plays tennis. They just did 4 years of tennis school. And when we started playing tennis, they asked me questions like, which side of the court do I stand on and who serves first? I would go, wait a second, didn't you just go to 4 years of tennis school? And they say, yeah, we studied the history of the French Open and the kind of clay they use at Roland Garros, and we studied how they make tennis balls. But you don't know how to play tennis? No, I don't know how to play tennis. To me, that's business school. And I think it's a giant ripoff in many, many ways. So, what's the philosophical problem I chose for my book? The philosophical problem I chose for my book is it's wrong that you got a business degree and still don't know how to grow a business. So instead of going $50,000 in debt, pay $20 and you'll get a 60-day business education that is better than an MBA. I chose a philosophical problem to lead my book promotion with. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's the power of, but anything that's, if you're selling marketing consulting, you deserve to get a return on your marketing investment. For people to charge you money for marketing and you not get a return is wrong. That's philosophical.
Love that.
When you buy a product to clean a stain on your couch, the stain ought to come out. That's a philosophical problem. Bernie Sanders, by the way, ran on philosophical problems exclusively. And philosophical problems, by the way, is how you start a movement. You are being treated unjustly. You are being ripped off. You are not getting what you deserve, and we're going to change it. Those are philosophical problems.
Love that. And last one before we head out to lunch, Smita asks, if we want to add all 7 steps in our script, how long can it be? Like, I guess if it's going to be a long sales letter.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, whenever I give a speech, I literally just follow a brand script. So I walk to stage and I say, we all want this, but we can't get it because of this. And that's making us feel like this. And it's just plain wrong that we would ever feel this way. I empathize with this audience's pain and have helped a lot of people through it. And here's how I've done it. 1, 2, 3. If you do what I'm asking you to do, you will not have this horrible life. You will have a great life. Thank you very much. You've been a great audience. Now, that can go 5 minutes or that can go 2 hours. But that's the formula. It's a formula for a speech. It's a formula for a movie. It's a formula for a website. I'm literally going to show you later today how if you just scroll down a website, all it is a brand script and formula. So it can be short. It can be long. It can be 10 seconds. It can be 10 hours. But it all has to come from a brand script in order to work.
Excellent.
I will say this, though, because the heart of the question is how long can I get? The shorter, the better. The shorter, the better. We always say this, commas are not your friend. If you have sentences with a lot of commas, they're not your friend. Get rid of your commas. Make short, punctuated sentences that are easy to remember. Because every time you add a comma, you're basically saying this, comma, bowling ball, comma, bowling ball, comma, bowling ball. And you're going to lose the audience.
Bowling ball, I love that. Great. Well, we are about to break for lunch. Do you want to give any last-minute reminders about our assignments we need to work on?
Yeah, what I'd love for you to do, first of all, you may need a rest, and you can do this later. But if you go to mystorybrand.com, you can start working on your brand script. And you can start punching that stuff in before you. There's also a notepad on the software where you can actually keep notes on your brand script right there on the side. I've written entire books in the notepad of the brand script. And each chapter would be a different brand script. So it's really a fascinating tool. The other thing is my office told me we have a course that's coming out for free called 0 to 10 million. It's how I took my company from 0 to 10 million in about 4 years. And I teach you how to do it. If you pre-order Business Made Simple, they're telling me if you forward your receipt to book@businessmadesimple.com, we will give you the course 0 to 10 million for free when it comes out. I know I filmed it about a month ago, and I think they're still editing it. So we'll give you that. It's this group only. Book@businessmadesimple.com. Forward your receipt. For 20 bucks, it's better than an MBA. I promise you that. And an MBA, that's not saying much because an MBA isn't worth very much. I'm so glad you studied a white paper on trade with China. Turns out you don't need to know that to grow your business. You do if you're the chairman of the Fed, so one of you may need it, but nobody else needs it.
Love that. Awesome. Guys, thank you so much for sticking around. It's been a great morning. You've been an incredible audience. Thanks for being on video and asking great questions. We're going to take an hour break for lunch, so we'll be back right at around 1:15 p.m. Central, and we'll dive into our next session. Thanks, guys.